Hello, my name is Rosalind Dix, and I'm with the Montana Procurement Technical Assistance Center, or PTAC. And today I am going to show you how to do some basic searching for opportunities, federal opportunities in the new Beta.sam site, although it's not really that new anymore. I did do a video on this about last year, but there have been some changes to the search criteria, and so I want to show you some of those changes and add a little bit more information to it, to the presentation. So this is really just an update, and then I'll give you a few little extra tidbits on what what some of those initial steps are to actually put in an offer, what you need to do to get started with that. So for anybody who isn't aware that is watching this video, PTACs are federally funded by the Department of Defense, specifically the Defense Logistics Agency. And there's PTACs in every single state. So depending on where your business is located, there's a PTAC to help you with government contracting. That is our purpose. We help businesses navigate the government marketplace for federal opportunities, states, and local government opportunities. So we help you with registrations, we help you find opportunities, we can help you do market research, we can even be a second pair of eyes on a bid that you want to submit. So we are a good free resource for you to go to when you need help with government contracting, okay? And at the end of the presentation, I will show you how to find the PTAC that is located nearest you, okay? So first, this is the website that you go to. It's Beta.sam.gov. And for anyone who isn't aware, this website is currently combining multiple websites into one. Many websites that they're planning on combining are already here. Contract Opportunities is one of them. That used to be called FBO or Fed Biz Ops. Many of you may be aware of that. It's no longer FBO. That was decommissioned in last November, and it was moved over here and is called Contract Opportunities. So if you click on this down arrow, you'll see Contract Opportunities. Wage determinations have been moved over here. FPDS is starting to move information over here. FPDS is where awards are reported by the agencies. Assistance listings or CFDA for that's moved over. What else? I think that's it right now. Your SAM registration has not moved over, so let's be clear about that. You are supposed to still go to this website to renew, maintain, or even register for the first time as a vendor with the federal government on this website. So this is still how you do all of that, okay? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and log in. I do recommend being logged in when you do searching for opportunities. It opens up a little more access within the opportunities. For example, you can see what's called the interested vendors list. You can create saved searches, and so you do want to be signed in. I'll be going over all of those things here in just a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and hit sign in, and you will use your SAM credentials. So when you log into SAM, you get directed to login.gov. You have to put in your email and a password. It's the same credentials that you log in with, okay? So we'll just do this. You get your security code. And I've already been logged in today, so I don't have to put in another security code. So when you first log in, if you haven't ever been logged into the site before, you'll be prompted to fill in some information on your profile, just really simple. It's a few business information questions, but that's it. Your registration isn't here. So you'll fill in that information and you'll be good to go. Okay. And so when you first log in, you get directed to this, what's called your workspace. Okay. And so to create or to start searching, you want to click on the magnifying glass here and it opens up the search bar. Okay. So what I do from here is I click the down arrow and I go to Contract Opportunities and I just hit search. I don't put anything in here, in this space here, okay? Just hit search. And So now what we're looking at is anything and everything that's out there right now. We haven't done any filter criteria, so we're just kind of looking at everything, and there's a lot of results. So, you know, obviously you want to narrow those results somehow, and there's a lot of ways you can do that. There's all the filter criteria here on the left, okay? You've got keywords, you've got some different types of dates you can put in. You can put in an agency name, the type of notice, you know, is a pre-solicitation, a solicitation, source of stat, etc. Or maybe it's an award. Most of you will probably be looking for solicitation or this combined synopsis and solicitation. So that's one way you can search. You know, it's up to you. NAICS codes, PSC codes, those are codes that are, you know, identify your industry and what you do, and should be on your SAM registration on the other website. This is a really good way to search, and this is probably mostly how I do searches. And then here's place of performance location. Notice that it does say zip code here. I will show you how to do that by state. The zip code's a little hard because, you know, cities, large cities have multiple zip codes. You may not know the zip code of where the work is actually being performed. So, you know, that, in my opinion, is maybe not the best way to search, but if you know the zip code, you can definitely do that. You can add additional filter criteria by coming up to this little button here, this little link called Change Filters. If you click on that, everything that has a check mark on it is defaulted. So you're already looking at that on your screen. But if you want to add additional information, you can do that. You can do, you know, award number, you know, contract office location, lots of different things here. Place of award, the state where the opportunity was awarded and what state, point of contact, you know, different types of things here. But what I think is really important, especially if you only work within certain states, you know, or you want to create a safe search only for Montana or Wyoming or California, whatever it is, you want to add place of performance state. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So you want to check mark it and hit update. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that that's added here. So you now will be able to search in certain states. Okay. Keywords can be beneficial depending on what it is you're looking for. You know, you may be able to find opportunities using keywords that, you know, work better than maybe using NAICS codes. So I think it is beneficial to play around with the keyword search, but I would just caution you, you may get a lot of results that are not applicable, maybe hard to sort through, that sort of thing. There is also a difference between searching through you know, a short phrase or a group of words or just one word at a time. You'll definitely see different results when you do that. The other thing that is you have to pay attention to is the date of when those are published. When you search by keywords, you're going to get a lot of older results that may not even be active anymore. Most likely won't be. So, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's just go ahead and do that. So let's just search, let's just put in the word pumps. Let's say you sell pumps, maybe you sell them, maybe you install them. So if I type in pumps and I hit enter, anything you enter here or in any of the other filter criteria will automatically start changing your results. There's no submit search button or anything like that. So anything you add here automatically changes it on your screen. Okay, so you can see we've got 1,421 results. That's a lot, but here's what I'm talking about. So this one was originally published in 2019. Well, this one isn't going to be relevant anymore because it's too old. So what you can do is, you know, try to see if there's anything newer to be popped to the top, and it doesn't look like there is. So, you know, that is probably not a very good keyword to search right now. It doesn't mean that it wouldn't be in the future, but just keep that in mind and pay attention to these dates over here. And this one was awarded, looks like, yeah, 2019. But let's say, let's do a group of words. So we want to put them in quotations. So let's do water pumps and hit enter. And you'll see it'll combine them. And you can see there's actually more results. And if you click into one of these, let's see, I'll just show you. It's picking up the keywords in, mostly the description. So if you do a Control F and you search for water pumps, it's going to highlight everything. So that's just so you know, that's what it's picking up on when you do keyword searches. Let me go back a page here. Again, the dates, you got to pay attention to the date. This one's 2017, so that's really old, 2016. So just be careful with doing keyword searches, okay? The dates, inactive date, published date, all of these, I don't personally use those very much. If you know the date, or then it may be a little more applicable, but that's kind of hard to do when you're just trying to find opportunities. Organizations, this is nice. You can, if you know the name, you can just start typing it in and they'll start to show up. If I put in like Coast Guard, you put in Coast, then it starts, anything with Coast, it'll come up. You can also click on that ellipsis, the 3 dots, and do the department, which is the head agency, or a sub-agency, Department of Agriculture, and then underneath that, one of them would be like the Forest Service. Or you can just kind of scroll through here and check mark the ones that you, 1 or 2 or whatever you want to do, agencies that you want to look for. So that's another way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and just do Coast Guard, actually. Let's take a look at one of those opportunities too. So I'll choose Coast Guard. And again, everything is starting to change over here, okay? I'm then going to do a NAICS code because I want to narrow it down a little bit more. So I'm going to type in the code. And remember, I sell and install pumps. So we're going to use a code called 238220. And it's under this plumbing, heating, and air conditioning contractors. Okay, so again, everything's starting to change here. And I'm not going to limit it by state. I could, it looks like my filter criteria went away down there, so I'd have to add it again. But, I can go anywhere in the US, so I'm just going to leave it at this, okay? And again, if you look, you can see these new results here at the top if you do a search the way I've done here, okay? So we've got some nice new current results going on. This is great. We can save the search right now. So let's say I like that search. I want to always be able to get notice of things from the Coast Guard under that NAICS code. I like that search. I want to save it and get notice of those. So I'll go ahead and go up here to save search and I'll name it. So I'll put, I'll probably do Coast Guard and then the NAICS code. That kind of helps me keep things straight. Save. Okay. Oops, no hyphens. That's my fault. So just do that. Save. Okay, why isn't that working? Here it goes. Guard 38220. Save. There we go. Okay. All right, so my search is saved, and that's great. But I also want to receive notices. So in order to do that, I have to go into my saved searches. Okay, so that's on this link here over on the left. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to find my saved search. It's right here at the top. I'm going to click on actions and I'm going to click on notify. So now anytime there's something new under that search, I'll get an email notice of it. And you can create as many searches as you want. You can see I have a lot of different types of searches in here. For training, I should probably get rid of them, but you can put as many as you want. So, think about what results you're looking for. Maybe, maybe you want to do it just really broad and just do NAICS code, or maybe you just want to see everything from Bureau of Land Management. You could just do it by agency, or maybe you really want a tight search. So the more filter criteria you put here on the left, the tighter your results are going to be. So the less results you're going to get. So you could even, maybe you're a small business, maybe you're a woman-owned small business or a veteran, service disabled veteran-owned business, and you really want to search, under a NAICS, and also a set aside. So you want to see what set asides are under that NAICS. So you choose the NAICS, and then you also would choose one of the set asides here. And that could be its own search, saved search, so that you can see anything that's, set aside for small business, again, whatever you choose under that NAICS. There's different types of notices in here. You're mostly probably going to be interested in the solicitations or the combined synopsis solicitations. Those are current opportunities that are out there. You will see award notices posted in here for a period of time. You'll see the things called a sources sought. That's the agency, the government is trying to get information from industry. Maybe they're looking to set something aside, so they want people to respond and say, oh, we're a service disabled veteran firm, or we're woman owned, or we're small business. Then the government can just make a decision. Well, okay, well, we can reasonably expect to receive 2 or more offers of woman owned small business on whatever this is that we're procuring. So let's go ahead and set that aside for woman owned small business. So if you ever see those, or you create a saved search on those, I think those really benefit responding to, because that's one way to actually influence the acquisition strategy of these agencies. Pre-solicitations are jobs. They just the solicitation hasn't been posted yet. But if you see these, you definitely, if it applies to you, click into it. They usually give you an intended date of when the solicitation is coming out. Like, I'll just go into this one. They usually do. Have to kind of read through this. Yeah, available on or about November 6th. So that's today, which it might be out there right now. We just would have to maybe search for it. You can always follow the opportunity inside here. Let me actually go back. So I'm gonna go back to my saved searches and use my Coast Guard search to show you some of these examples. So let's go into my saved searches. Okay, so I'm going to go into this pump replacement one for the Coast Guard. It looks good to me. I'm interested in seeing more about it and seeing if I would be able to bid on it. So a couple of things that you're looking at in here. You can follow the opportunity, which I also recommend if on an opportunity level, if you're really interested in it and you want to get notice of any changes, updates, amendments, that sort of thing, you want to follow it. So you click it and, I'm following it right now. So I'll get emails of anything that changes on this opportunity. You will see the notice ID. This is how you can search for it again. Department, that's Homeland Security, Coast Guard, gives you all that information. Really, you want to pay attention to the date and when offers are due. That should be one of the first things you look at. This one is offers are due on the 12th by 4 p.m. Eastern time. You really need to make sure that you pay attention and you follow that. Late submissions are late, and the government doesn't accept those. So, if you're on Mountain Time like me, that's going to be 2 p.m. our time. So let's see a couple other things. So this just kind of tells you this. If you click on this stuff, it just takes you to that spot on the page. So, or you can just scroll. The interested vendors list is one thing that I mentioned being logged into. Being logged in will give you access to. I will say that this link is not in every single solicitation. It's really up to the agency when they're posting it, whether they open up that field or not. So it's something on the back end that the agency, when they're posting, they choose to open it. So I have seen them where that's not there, so if you see that it's not there, don't think that you're crazy. It's something they probably didn't open it up. So let's just click in it and take a look. Sometimes nobody's added themselves to the interested vendors list. And the reason the interested vendors list is important is that if you can kind of see who's bidding, maybe interested in bidding on it, maybe gives you an idea of competition, but it's also a good way to maybe get some subcontract work. So maybe you can't do this entire job yourself. You don't have the capability to, but you can do a part of it. This would be one way to reach out to some of these companies and provide them your capability statement and say, hey, I saw that you were interested in this opportunity that's currently out on Beta.sam. I supply pumps. I would be interested in being your supplier. Whatever you need to say, you're going to be marketing to a potential prime contractor here, and it has all their contact information, which is really great. I would also caution you, some of these companies may not actually be interested in bidding on this opportunity. They may be, some of these look, just by their name look legitimate, but you may see lawyers posted in here, or, sometimes they do that. So just maybe kind of do a little Googling to see for sure that they would have the capability of bidding on it before you contact them. Otherwise, they might be kind of like, what are you talking about? Okay, so let's go back to the opportunity. So what you see in the opportunity, we went over follow, the department, the sub-tier, the offers due date, etc. Then you come down here and you want to look at set aside. So this is set aside for service disabled veteran-owned small businesses. So if you are not an SDVOSB, you're out. I mean, move on to the next one, okay? But if you are, okay, you can check that and say, okay, yep, I'm able to do that. That's great. Okay, so then it tells you your product service code and the NAICS codes that are assigned to this procurement. This is how the government identifies what it is they're buying or by these codes. Okay. Then it looks like they give us a brief description, and again, they talk about the offers due. So I'm going to come back up to the attachments, but let me go down a little bit further. So then you'll see point of contacts in here. These are most likely contracting officers, contract specialists. I'm not sure, it doesn't say their title, but most likely they are. And so, you can contact them with questions. You'll probably address your bid to them as well. And we'll actually take a look at that and kind of give you an idea of how you find that information and determine that information. So let's just briefly discuss what you do once you find an opportunity that you're interested in. So let's pretend it's this one. This is really the key, are all these attachments. You have to download all these attachments and read them. I would suggest finding the one that talks about the statement of work or scope of work, the attachment that describes what this is about, because that's going to really tell you whether you can or cannot do it, whether you have the capability to even perform the work, okay? So you would want to download the scope of work, just click it, it'll download automatically, and read through it in detail, make sure you understand it, and from there you make a go, no go decision. Simple as that. So let's pretend we read it, we say, yes, this is what I want to do, I want to bid on this. Then you need to start downloading the rest of the attachments and read them. It looks like this one has a solicitation, but so does this one. This one says revised, so this is the one I would pay attention to. I wouldn't even pay attention to this one. This one's going to have some changes in it. I suspect it has the changes of these amendments. There may be other changes too, but definitely pay attention to the revised version. So that's going to have the most up-to-date information. So click it and download it. I already have it downloaded. That's the amendment. We'll talk about that in a second. So you're going to read through this. This one's 30 pages. Believe me, they get longer. They get in the hundreds of pages depending on what agency you're doing business with and how complicated the work is. This it goes through just for a lot of the information you saw in Beta.sam, when they're due, etc. But it's going to also tell you how they want you to respond and what information they're looking for. This is a request for quotes. They're looking for your pricing information, which it says here. You know, they probably, if we went, you know, who knows if they may provide a spreadsheet for you to use, but most likely you need to provide, you know, put it on your own spreadsheet and give them a cost breakdown of what this is going to cost per the scope of work, cost for you to do. And it says sign and return, you know, one copy of the solicitation standard form. If you scroll down, you'll see that here. So you'll have to fill out this information, put your lump sum, you'll sign it. You have to include that with your bid package. Let's see, what else do they want? Complete and return one copy of your reps and certs, which is in your SAM registration. They have it in here from page 20 to 25. So you could go in here and manually fill that out, but I would recommend just printing them out from your SAM registration, because everything is already filled out in your SAM. Your reps and certs are already in your SAM. You've already done that. If you're at this point and you're looking, you've most likely already done that in your SAM registration. And so you could do that. And that looks like all they want. However, if you download those amendments, you'll see it says to all potential offers, amendment must be acknowledged. So that means you need to read the amendment, you need to sign the amendment that you've acknowledged it, and that also needs to be included with your bid package. Okay. If you miss anything that they've told you to include, your offer will get thrown out. They won't even look at it. They'll say, oh, they didn't include the reps and certs, or oh, they forgot to add, they forgot the amendments. You know, they may deem you as non-responsive and then just throw out your bid. So now it's like, well, okay, I have to have it returned by 4 p.m. Eastern time on November 12th, but who do I send it to? You need to read through here because it's not always in the same spot. You really have to kind of pay attention to that. If you scroll down, we'll just kind of take a look here. A lot of times it's on this standard form. You'll see where it is. Sometimes it's a little bit further down and then instructions. You know, you may see it on this first page. It looks like they, you know, because they include some instructions on this page. But the first place I look is usually the standard form. And if you look here, it says, please furnish quotations to the issuing office in block 5A on or before the closing of, you know, the payment date here. So 5A is this address here. So they want you to mail this in. They don't want you to email it or fax it. And it actually says that in here. Let's see. Can't remember, I did see it, but it does say in here to not email or fax your RFQ to them. So you have to pay attention to little details like that. You know, you'll see a lot of do want you to email them. That's much easier. So again, but you still need to get it to them by the time and the date that it says to respond. So, you know, there's lots of information in here, more than just what's, you know, how to respond, but this one talks about how to submit an invoice. I mean, this is all really important stuff, and you have to pay attention to all of it. So you have to read everything in here. You have to read all of those attachments. And that would be my number one suggestion is when you're responding to these is read a couple of times, and, you know, make sure you're paying attention to those due dates, that you have enough time to even respond. This is a request for quote. This probably it's going to take a lot less time than an RFP, where you're going to have to write a proposal and include pricing, you know, possibly, you know, include past performance history, and a lot. These opportunities can get really involved depending on what you're looking to do. This one talks about insurance information that you have to have, etc. All the different clauses that apply to the solicitation, which ultimately will become your contract. Okay, so you need to understand all this, and that's where PTACs come in. They are, you know, we're here to help you work through some of this if you're not familiar, is to help you understand this. And, you know, we're not going to do quotes or proposals for you, but we can be a second set of eyes to make sure you've, you know, included everything. You know, we can read through your proposal, make sure it sounds good, and again, that you've addressed everything that they want. You know, if you have questions about these clauses, the FAR clauses, we can tell you where to find them and help you understand the FAR and, you know, what the FAR is saying. The FAR is the Federal Acquisition Regulation. It is how, it's the SOP, standard operating procedures, basically, on, you know, how contracting officers are to procure products and services for the government. It tells them what to do. And it's based on the law, and the law is in the Code of Federal Regulations. This has a Buy American Act clause in it, which is important. You would need to read through that. So I just can't stress enough to read a lot. Let's see, let me make sure I covered everything I wanted to cover. Talked about safe searches, how to conduct a basic search using the filter criteria, interested vendors list, you know, how to respond, you know. I think we did cover everything. So let me show you how to find a PTAC in your state, in your area. If you know, you watch this video and you're not in Montana, this will give you a resource of who to contact in your state to get additional help, or to, you know, if you have additional questions after watching this video. So we are funded by the Defense Logistics Agency, but all the PTACs are part of this association called APTAC, the Association of Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. I would recommend coming to our website to get the most recent information, contact information. And there's this nice little map here. You click on what state you're located in. So you'll notice the URL up here is aptac-us.org. Okay. If you're in Washington, you just click on Washington, and you'll see the different, tells you what counties, you know, each, you know, that they cover. Bremerton, Kent, you know, who would make the most sense for you depending on where you live in Washington. So if your business is in Washington, you contact the Washington PTAC. Okay, we are funded specifically to help the businesses in our respective states. Okay. I think that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed this video. I try to make more periodically, and also check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube, on the Montana PTAC YouTube, to see if there's anything else of interest to you. We record a lot of our trainings and live webinars that we do ourselves, or if we have agency, whether they're state or federal, we try to record those and post them there as well. So you're welcome to see what else is on our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for watching, and we happy hunting for your federal government contracts.